This video is being dropped the day, most likely being dropped the day of the FOMC meeting for the Federal Reserve in June. This is being done intentionally because of the economic conditions being created by the Federal Reserve and inflation. Many of you cannot afford your auto loans anymore, and repossessions are starting to tick up and starting to inch through the roof, slowly but surely. Many of you are coming from one of the fastest shifting economic environments we've had in about a 3-year span that I can think of in economic history in the United States. We went from an almost absolute boom across the economy when the Federal Reserve dropped interest rates nearly to zero and the government decided to print a bunch of stimulus into the system, and people had access to money as individuals, small businesses, and corporations like never before. Many of you decided to take that money or that access to capital or those cheap interest rates and get into auto loans that you now are having a hard time maintaining. We're going to talk about in this video how to hopefully avoid this situation, what to do if you're in this situation, and maybe how to shake back from it if you're already going through it. This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity. This channel is all about increasing your net worth and helping you customize your blueprint for prosperity. If you want to focus on that kind of content, subscribe to the channel and like this video. Let's get right into the content. So the Federal Reserve is likely going to meet. As of today, most likely this video will be dropped the same day of the Federal Reserve's meeting. The guess out there, the suspicion is that the Federal Reserve is either going to pause or they could go up another 0.25%. In either case, the interest rates we're dealing with right now are going to continue to put downward pressure on the economy, and many of you are feeling that. If you're in a situation where you're starting to get threatened by not being able to pay your auto loan and you're potentially knocking on the door of a repossession, you need to consider your options if you have access to extra income. Is there a way from overtime, commission, tips, whatever the case may be? Do you realistically have the capacity to go out there and generate the money needed to cover your car note or catch up on your car note? You most likely were caught off guard by the economic circumstances that put you in this position. So now it's time to strategize your way out of it. Can you come up with the money? Can you do it consistently? That's number one. The next thing, is it worth it? I'll be completely honest with you. Is it worth it? I was in a situation like this, I say about 2015. So we're going on about 8 years ago. And my car note and car insurance was more than my rent at the time. I had a total combined car costs between the note and insurance of about $850 to round up. And my rent at that time was $832. I had real serious decisions to make. Many of you are in a very similar predicament. And to be completely honest with you, as bad as a repossession would be, is it really worth it? You need to have an honest conversation with yourself. Fighting to pay this car note, is it really worth it? If you are knocking on the door of this situation and it's not realistic you're going to be able to stop a repossession or you're on the way to it, you can contact your lender and let them know you're having financial hardship. They don't want your car back, I assure you. If they think there's some certainty that you're authentically going to make a payment or try to catch up on this and be able to sustain it long term, they are definitely going to work with you. And so if that's the case, you need to contact them and let them know you're going through a hardship, but you're going to be back on your feet soon and you just need some help. They 9 out of 10 times will work with you. If that's not the case, your next option is going to be a voluntary surrender. It does not hit your credit as bad. It is a natural process if you're defaulting on your auto loan to voluntarily turn your vehicle in before a repossession is filed. The lender will still take the car back. It's still going to hit your credit. It doesn't look as bad as a repossession. It's called a voluntary surrender or voluntary repossession. That is an option. Some cases, they'll even let you turn the car in if it's in decent shape. You might not even have to pay anything else. It's possible. You have to remember the car is a depreciating asset. So if the lender can't recoup what you owe on a note versus what they can sell a car for, you could be still stuck with some payments. But at the end of the day, it's possible. It's still better than a repossession. It's just like a layer before a repossession. Consider that. Next, if you're already there, if you recently have been in a position where you got your car repossessed, you're already over the hump, you need to consider not contacting a lender anymore, and maybe consider, and this is not financial advice per se, this is not trying to tell you to scam the system. But you may want to put yourself in a position where you can try to repair this down the line. And the best way to do that is incongruencies in the personal information that lender has versus whatever information at the time of you disputing it. I'm gonna leave that there. For those of you who know. If you understand, you understand. Okay, couple quick notes. Do not try to hide your car from the repo man. Please do not try to hide your car. In the vast majority of states, this is illegal. And in the vast majority of states, you sign something somewhere in the paperwork, this lender is gonna have the right to go on your private property and get this car if you try to hide it in your garage. Not a good idea. Please don't do that. So what I recommend, if you're already in this position or if you're knocking on the door in this position, weigh out your options. If you have to take a loss, take it early and sensibly as you possibly can. Do not try to do anything crazy. If you can afford it, get back on your feet and afford it. If it's not worth it, voluntarily turn it in. If you're already dealing with the repossession, you're stuck in that situation, consider putting yourself in position to dispute it later. If you're beyond that point, then just pay what you can pay, settle on it, get it behind you and get it paid off and move on with your life. 2 to 4 years will pass before you can know it and it'll be over. It'll largely be over. It can be on your credit report up to 7 years, but it will hit less at 2 years and hit even less after 4 years. Weigh your options. We all take losses. It happens to all of us. It is what it is. Just be smart about it. I wanted to bring this to you guys really quickly because I know this is a serious problem and I've been in this position before. It is extremely tough. It's a lot of pride. It's a lot of emotion, but you got to be honest with yourself and think about your entire financial future now and tomorrow. If you have a family you're taking care of, is it worth trying to pay this car note at the expense of what you could be doing or where that money could be going towards your family? Just being honest, you might have to take your lick. Other than that, I just wanted to touch on this topic really quickly because it's becoming a bigger problem for many of you out there. The Federal Reserve is likely meeting today, and they're either going to keep rates around the same rate or they're going to possibly even go up because inflation may not be going down fast enough in their opinion. And this is only going to make it harder for many of you out there. Don't try to fight the wave. Don't try to fight the system. Just take it for what it is. Be strategic and build a better future for yourself. Other than that, to all my pioneers out there, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Drop your comments down below. Let me know if you yourself or somebody you know is in this situation. If any of this content made sense, was valuable. If you have more to chime in, drop it in the comments. Educate more people. If you want to support the channel, there's links in the description to some top credit card lenders. Great welcome bonuses for using those referral links. If they make sense for you, it's a win-win to support the channel so the channel can keep supporting you. Other than that, to all my pioneers, to all my new viewers, thank y'all for tuning in. I want you to stay focused. Stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.
This is JP from Blueprint for Prosperity Network, a channel dedicated to helping you increase your net worth through relationship banking, maximizing your borrowing capacity, the proper use of life insurance, and the ownership of real estate. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm uploading content on a daily basis to help you customize your blueprint for prosperity.